Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the third round of the MSA Protyre Asphalt Championship in Rally Wervik in Belgium. I've been joined this weekend by Anne-Marie Mole, who's been doing the WRC3 in a Peugeot this year. Welcome, thanks for coming. We're going to have a great day. We're going to look at some stages. But tell us about yourself and what you've been up to in the last 12 months.
Yeah, thank you for the invitation for you also. Yes, for me, I'm doing the WRC3 Championship. So we are doing a few events this year. I started the season with the Monte Carlo. And we got a podium over there with a second place. So for the first time there, it was very nice and fantastic to start the season with 8 points on the back. So then we went to tour the course and finish also the event. So now we are 7th overall with equal points than the other one. And we want to fight for a best result.
And what's your next rally then?
So yes, the next rally, it's the German rally.
Rally Deutschland, fantastic rally.
Exactly, fantastic rally. It will be the 4th times in a row, which I will participate over there. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to do a great result over there.
Now, looking at Rally Wervik, what's in store for the drivers? Very, very similar roads to Ypres. That's why a lot of them come to test. But what's in store for them?
Wervik is very particular because, as you said, it's a similar road, and some of this road is used by the Ypres rally. So to prepare a rally is the best way. It's testing, but testing in the same road in a rally it's better. So this is the reason why there are a lot of and many people who drive in Ypres here.
As always, scrutineering precedes the action, and in Belgium they don't waste a chance to turn that into a spectator event. We love it. Food and drink, and of course, the first chance for the fans to see the cars and drivers up close before they head out onto the stages. So Jason Pritchard leads the championship cruise away. Previous British and Scottish champion David Bogie joins the series for this round, and Damien Cole is back out to try and put the retirement of the previous rally behind him.
Jason, off to the first stage, looking forward?
Yeah, it's always nice just to get the first one out of the way and settle a bit of the nerves and just get into it and find a rhythm.
Had a good recce?
Yeah, well, you never know until you start using the notes at speed, but we'll do our best.
Let's get on to those awesome Belgian lanes then, and it would be the early lead on the stages for Rhys Yates and Elliot Edmondson, the pair taking a few local crews by surprise to not only lead the championship cruise, but also lead the event overall. Second place at this stage will be previous British and Scottish champion David Bogie. John Rowan alongside. They'll be testing some new settings on the car this weekend, and they make a good, strong start of the first loop of stages. Following on from a strong 4th place finish in the championship last time out on the Isle of Man, Barry Groundwater and Neil Shanks were looking to go one better this weekend, lying in 3rd place after stage 3, around 15 seconds back from Bogie. For current championship leaders Jason Pritchard and Phil Clark, it would be less than a second back on the overall results and lying in 4th. Bringing out the S2000 car may mean less top-end speed, but that didn't seem to be stopping the pair from pushing. And then there's that soundtrack. Wayne Sisson and Max Freeman come into this round just a few points behind Pritchard at the top of the table, and they'd be looking to make sure they keep chasing that lead down. 5th place for now, on an identical time to Pritchard after 3 stages. Dan Harper and Chris Campbell make their first trip over to Belgium, bringing the Mini WRC for a run on these fast ditch-lined stages. They end the first loop with a cautious but competitive 6th place in the championship cruise and leading the B15 class. Things were not, however, going to plan for Damien Cole and Jamie Edwards. This round was supposed to be a turning point in the championship after a disappointing retirement early on the Isle of Man. Unfortunately, that wasn't to be. The car clearly not sounding well on the run through the morning loop, and the pair will be forced to retire and add another DNF to the tally. Ross Brusby and Hannah McKillop will be competing together in Belgium for the first time. 8th place at this stage and leading the way in the B13 class, so that debut was going pretty well. Like many others on the leaderboard, this would be the first visit to the Belgian stages for Adrian Spencer and Matt Daniels. 5 seconds back from the escort pair up ahead was not too bad considering, and lying third in the B15 class as well was just a bonus. Roger Priestnall and Jamie Forrest would make a good start to the rally with the lead in the B10 class. The Proton pair also rounding out our top 10 championship crews at this stage. After missing the previous round of the series due to exam commitments, a result this weekend, and indeed on the remaining round of the series, would be important for Ed Fossey. Enlisting the help of Jan Griffiths on the notes this time out, the R2 class would be theirs so far, lying just outside the top 10 overall as well with 11. After damage to the car following the previous round, it will be the Road Rally spec car this weekend for Steve Retchless and Sasha Herriot. It wasn't expected then to be as high up the results as the original car could possibly have been, but the pair were going well nonetheless, 12th place overall. There'd be just the one crew in the 1400 class by the end of the opening loop, but that wasn't going to stop Lloyd Morgan and Dale Clapworthy from pushing for a good result on that leaderboard. 13th place for now, and with that class lead. For Paul and Julian Doroschuk, it would be the B11 class lead. They'd have a small advantage in that position as well by the end of the morning's loop of stages. That lead over this man, Richard, with Pat Egger alongside, second in the class and just a handful of seconds back from the escort pair ahead in that Nova. Meanwhile, for Graham Sherry and Sinclair Young, it would be a little further back on the results, with third place in the class, lying 16th in the championship standings at this stage. Mike Pugsley and Stuart Powell were proving their seeding wrong by ending the morning loop a good way up those results overall. But more importantly for the championship points, it will be 17th as well as the B12 class lead. It will be second place in the B10 class for Kev Harbour and Dave Tortoiseshell. They had a minute's penalty to add to their times, but that wasn't affecting their overall positions for now. And just behind them on the times were Adrian Drury and Kat Lund, themselves a minute's penalty to contend with in 19th place. We find Tim and Jack Waters in third place in the B13 class, the Clio pair, ending the loop with 20th in the championship. The early stages here in Belgium would be packed with attrition. We'd lose a number of championship crews, one of those being Phil Turner and Ian Meakin. They go off the road early into the rally. Not too much damage, but the car clearly not going any further this weekend. And it would be a bad end to the rally too for Bill Paintner and Andy Hollingham. They'd be here this weekend to maintain their lead in the 1400 category, but things would go horribly wrong very quickly on stage one, the throttle sticking open on the car, causing the pair to go off the road. The crew bruised but okay, which is more than could be said for the car. So 3 of the 12 stages complete. It's 2 of our new names at the top of the list, but will those results stay the same as the crews go out for a second loop on those very same stages? Onto the second loop then, and there'll be no change at the top. Rhys Yates and Elliot Edmondson actually extending their advantage at the top of the leaderboard to almost a minute now. And indeed, no change in that second place either. David Bogie and John Rowan continuing to hold that position, unable to chase down Yates, but holding off any advance from behind. There'd be change in third though, as we see Jason Pritchard and Phil Clark stepping up to take that position in the Fiesta. Sadly, it will be all in vain as the pair arrive back in service with clutch problems, preventing them from getting that S2000 back out on the stages in the afternoon. So for Barry Groundwater and Neil Shanks, it would be a move down to 4th overall for now. But that would of course change in the next loop with the loss of Pritchard. Nothing changing as far as the B14 class lead was concerned though. That change in the places above wouldn't be affecting things for Wayne Sisson and Max Freeman despite their best efforts. They remain in 5th place at this stage, still behind Groundwater in the class. The difference only 4 seconds though, so it was all to play for. And indeed, it was even closer back to this man, Dan Harper. Chris Campbell alongside in 6th place, just 0.9 of a second back on the overall leaderboard, and themselves still leading the B15 class. The advantage in that class over Adrian Spencer and Matt Daniels, second. And with around a minute between them, it wasn't going to be easy to change that result around. But you could bet they'd be trying. Roger Priestnall and Jamie Forrest continue to get to grips with tarmac and move the right way up the leaderboard as well. They continue to lead the way in the B10 class and now lie in 8th place in the championship cruise overall. Things going much the same way for Ed Fossey and Jan Griffiths, moving up to 9th place into the top 10 now. The stage is a lot different to the road to Verpint on the opening round. Punctures would be an issue for Ross Brusby and Hannah McKillop. Not quite mastering the Belgian cuts yet, it would lose the pair a little time, dropping them down to 10th. But they were still going strong in the class and overall positions.
On this left up here, we caught something because I've marked it down now.
Yeah, probably so.
That's where it was from.
Just behind them in the class and overall results was Steve Retchless and Sasha Herriot as they move up to 11th. There wouldn't be much in the way of change for Lloyd Morgan and Dale Clapworthy. The pair still going well, consistent and with good pace. 12th overall and of course leading the 1400 charge. The B11 class, meanwhile, wasn't looking like there'd be any changes. Paul and Julian Doroschuk continuing to lead the way there from 13th place overall. And it would still be second in that class for Richard and Pat Egger, just less than a minute back from the class lead going into the second half of the rally. Things would remain similar throughout the latter half of the results. Mike Pugsley and Stuart Powell ending the morning with 15th place overall, along with that B12 class lead. And it would still be second in the B10 class for Kev Harbour and Dave Tortoshell, 16th place overall for the Citroën C2 pair. No change though in the class, at least for Tim and Jack Waters, third in the B13 class now, 17th place on our leaderboard. So we're midway through the rally. It's looking like that lead for Yates is pretty secure, still surprising plenty of the locals here in Belgium, but of course, anything can happen. We see it in rallying and we've definitely seen it in this championship so far this season. Still 6 more stages to go. The leaderboard could all change from here on in. Let's head out onto those next loop of stages then, and just as it had been all morning, the lead of the event would be in the hands of Rhys Yates and Elliot Edmondson. Their advantage growing to just over a minute now.
5 right plus, 120. 5 right plus long, small nips, 90. Turn hairpin right plus up, bar. 60. Flat, 5 left plus long, 40. Big cut, 6 left with flat maybe, cut short, 4 right. 220. Turn, square right, narrow.
A frustrated David Bogie and John Rowan would still be second, trying various setup changes throughout the day to try and turn that deficit around, but none were helping. They couldn't close the gap on the leaders at this point. There would be some change in third place though, a great move up the leaderboard to take that podium position now for Dan Harper and Chris Campbell in the Mini. Getting used to the stages now, but probably wishing that they could end the day while they were going well. So despite the movement around them, there will be no change for Barry Groundwater and Neil Shanks. Still holding fast, they continue to lie in 4th place overall, leading the way in the B13 class, just half a second back from Harper. Wayne Sisson and Max Freeman continue to hold on to that second place in the class. Just 3.4 seconds between the Evo crews, and with 3 stages to go. That wasn't a big gap to make up. Anything could happen, and a puncture would change things dramatically. Things still going well for Adrian Spencer and Matt Daniels. They'd remain in a similar position on the leaderboard, but a trip into a ditch would push their overall time back a little from those ahead. 6th place for the pair for now, but just counting their lucky stars that they were still in the rally. Still no complaints from Ed Fossey and Jan Griffiths. They were getting used to the stages now and pushing on well. 7th place in the championship cruise and the R2 class lead. The times were close in those overall positions. Roger Priestnall and Jamie Forrest just behind Fossey now in 8th. The pair just 7 seconds back and leading the way in the B10 class. There'd be no change in the B13 class. Meanwhile, Ross Brusby and Hannah McKillop continuing to lead the way. The punches hadn't helped the overall times, but they were still inside the top 10 with 9th. And rounding out our top 10 was Steve Retchless and Sasha Herriott, second in that class, but over a minute back from the escort pair ahead. Just outside the top 10, it would be 11th place overall for Lloyd Morgan and Dale Clapworthy. They'd be less than 10 seconds back from that 10th place as well in the micro.
Caution! Right 6 cut holes inside. 70 to left 9 don't.
It's all changed in the B11 class now as we lose Paul and Julian Doroschuk from what was looking like a pretty stable lead, meaning the lead in B11 now belongs to Richard and Pat Egger, lying in 12th place in the Nova as well. And the remaining places in our results wouldn't see much change. Mike Pugsley and Stuart Powell continuing to lead the B12 class from 13th overall. And it would still be second in the B10 class for Kev Harbour and Dave Tortoshell, 14th place in the championship standings. For Tim and Jack Waters, that third place in the B13 class was looking likely to remain theirs into the final stages of the event. So with just 3 stages remaining, there are still changes going on throughout the leaderboard. The question is, would they stay as they are for 3 more stages? You'd have to say, if you were a betting man, it was looking unlikely. On to the final stages then, and we do see some change. In fact, we lose a notable name from the leaderboard, Roger Priestnall and Jamie Forrest going wide on the corner and getting caught in one of the big ditches that characterises the stages here, lining the roads in Belgium. They are unable to get out before the end of the stage, meaning it's game over for the Proton pair. We also lose Lloyd Morgan and Dale Clapworthy. After a great run in the 1400 class, the pair's event would sadly come to an end right here. On to the finishers then, and it would indeed be that B13 class podium for Tim and Jack Waters. 3rd in the class, 13th overall. The loss of Priestnall means it's a late move into the B10 class lead for Kev Harbour and Dave Tortoshell, taking that class victory as well as 12th place overall.
At 3 in, 1 right don't cut, 132 go.
Mike Pugsley and Stuart Powell go well this weekend in the escort, taking the B12 class win and finishing just outside our top 10 in the championship with 11th. Richard and Pat Egger then gain a position, of course, in the results to round out our top 10 by the end of the rally, taking the B11 class win as well in the Nova. And despite not being in that proper car, shall we say, the Road Rally car did Steve Retchless and Sasha Herriott proud, 2nd in the class, as well as 9th place overall. And as far as debuts in Belgium go, this one went to plan, it's fair to say, for Ross Brusby and Hannah McKillop. They take their class win, as well as 8th place on the leaderboard, happy with everything after an enjoyable rally. Even a couple of punctures couldn't dampen their spirits.
Yes!
Well done.
Brilliant!
Ed Fossey and Jan Griffiths make up for the Jersey-based driver missing the 2nd round of the championship with a strong finish this weekend. 7th place in our championship cruise, as well as a maximum points finish in the R2 class. A detour into a ditch hadn't caused any damage for Adrian Spencer and Matt Daniels, the Subaru pair ending the rally with 6th place overall, 2nd in the B15 class. Not that it would stop them trying, but there was nothing that Wayne Sisson and Max Freeman could do to catch the similar Evo up ahead for a place on the overall results. They'd have to settle for 5th. That result, however, securing them the lead of the championship overall after 3 rounds. So that means for Barry Groundwater and Neil Shanks, it would be the B14 class victory here in Belgium. A great way to end the weekend after a consistently fast run here at Wervik. Onto our podium positions then, and it would be that final step on the podium here in Belgium for Dan Harper and Chris Campbell. They may not have competed over here before, but that hadn't stopped them from getting that hammer down from early on to put some good times on the board and take another podium place in the championship, really making their mark. For David Bogey and John Rowan, there was no change at the end of the rally. 2nd place was theirs. They'd given it their all. They'd tried what they could, but it was looking unlikely to change from very early on. They just couldn't match the pace of the car up ahead. It was still a good result, though, and would set the pair up nicely for the next round in Ireland, despite their late start on the series. But for this weekend, It would be all eyes and all hands together for Rhys Yates and Elliot Edmondson, taking the championship victory this weekend, as well as the win overall on the rally, beating the locals on their own turf this weekend, which is never an easy thing to do, particularly on the tarmac of Belgium. So confirmation then of the results here at round 3 of the Protyre MSA Asphalt Rally Championship. Victory for Yates, a significant one, a fantastic drive for the young driver and for a number of other crews as well for their first time on these stages. Disappointment for the championship leader Pritchard now sees him drop down to second. Wayne Sisson taking that number 1 spot. Dan Harper and Barry Groundwater both leading a whole host of others looking to take the title with 3 rounds remaining.
Well, Rhys Yates, you came here to test for EPA. You've won the rally. What do you got to say, boy?
I know, yeah, decent, isn't it? I mean, we came just for a test and to do the tarmac championship and spoke to Jane and stuff like that. So when we come out the first stage and took stage win on first one, me and Elliot laughing our heads off in car. We said, "Oh, it took quickies through there."
When did you really realise you could win this rally? I mean, that guy in the WRC, Cam Masharek, he's been pretty quick, but he ballsed up, didn't he? You know. So when did you think, oh, Chris, we're on for the win here?
Yeah, I mean, after like stage 3 or 4, I just thought if we can just keep comfortable and keep like banging out stages like that, I just thought, yeah, we can kind of crack on and win it.
Dave Bogey, 5th overall. You must be quite pleased. 2nd in the Protyre MSA Championship. Good rally.
Yeah, it's been good. The stage has been fantastic, well-run rally, so no, very enjoyable.
I spoke to you in the Isle of Man, had a good result, but you've been there a few times. You've never been here before. This is good.
Yeah, it's good, yeah. It's we've had a very indifferent day. We started badly this morning. It's just got better as the day has gone on, and people have made it. You know, the Belgian people have been brilliant. You know.
Have you enjoyed it?
I would think, if you'd have asked me this morning, I'd have said no, I wasn't enjoying it. But yeah, we have enjoyed it now, yes.
What do you think of 3 stages used 4 times? Do you like that format?
3 stages used 3 times would be better. Or 4.
Finished 3 hours ago.
Yeah, no, it works. It works for the Belgians. I think very easy to make a mistake later on. But no, it's worked all right. It's been.
That's what it's all about, isn't it? Pushing you to the limit, and you know, the 4th time you think, oh, I know this road so well, and then bang, people have been caught out. Hey, Daniel Harper, you've done a great job. Well done, bag of points.
Thank you very much.
Philippe, what a fantastic weekend we've had here in Wervik this weekend. You've organised a fantastic rally. 28 British competitors came over to start. You must be very pleased with yourselves.
For me, it's a fantastic day. Sorry, my English is not so good.
It's much better than my Flemish, so we'll carry on.
Yeah, I know. But it's not my rally, it's the rally of my crew. My rally, me and my one, we have not a rally. And that's the reality. So it's the rally of my crew.
Fantastic. We met in Bilthwells in February in the launch, and now the rally's, you know, the rally's here on the day. How does it feel being involved in the MSA Protyre Championship?
For me, it's a big surprise. I'm happy, but it's a big adventure for me. I see the last weeks, lot of things come to me. My English is not good, and I have the last weeks maybe 200-300 miles in English. A big problem. But we have good Google Translate. Okay.
And Jane has been a wonderful coordinator for the championship. She's been very, very by your side all the time.
Yeah, but she is married.
Nice one, Philippe. But you are too, huh?
I think.
You haven't seen your wife for some time.
Maybe next year we have a English-Belgium rally. But
now, one thing I will say, life is a constant strive for perfection. How can you improve on this rally for next year?
I think my rally is good. Okay, I look for next year's change a little bit. Maybe 3 laps and the first special longer. But it's always when I have 3 laps, 3 specials is 9 specials, and we have cancel 2 or 3 times. Then I have 33% from the rally is not drive.
But you haven't had no problems this weekend. It's been very successful.
Yeah, for the moment the first car's coming. For me, the rally is finished when the last car is on the ramp.
Thank you, Philippe. Thank you very much. Thank you for your help. Thank you for allowing us to come to Belgium, and thank you for this wonderful rally.
But I like it.
Anne-Marie, we've had a great day. We've seen 8 or 9 stages. The Englishman Rhys Yates has won Rally van Wervik. What do you think?
Yeah, honestly, it was very impressive today for Yates. I didn't know this guy before, just a bit from different rally where I saw him, but honestly here in the smooth and very fast road of Ypres, he showed a great speed.
So will this set him up well for Ypres in a couple of weeks?
Yeah, I think he can looking forward very well for Ypres because he can do very good over there and doing something well. I think a top 5 for him, it's very possible for.
Well, Anne-Marie, it's been great having you with me today. We've had a lot of fun. So to all the special stage fans back home, thank you very much. Diolch yn fawr and danke from Belgium.